Welcome, everybody, to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Ragucci, and here with a few friends in the Delaware County area. We get in the basement and we talk about a certain topic. Today's topic, does RDJ... Ooh. You want to just do it for me?
Sure.
What was it?
Does RDJ's casting spell doom for the MCU?
Yeah, that was determined about 5 minutes ago.
Yes.
What the title of this podcast would be. But here to discuss, as always, you just heard his luscious tones, the triple threat, Chris Trio.
Gooch, you're too kind. I think my tones are not quite luscious, but I'll take the compliment. How are you today?
I'm doing well. It's Sunday. It's a little cooler.
Absolutely.
We're packing 4 into this recording session, a little behind the scenes. I'm going on a trip, which is... I was just saying to Trio earlier, we just have a lot to record today,
right.
Ironically, but it happens to be the last weekend I'm here for a little while. I'm going to going out west, Grand Teton National Park, Yellowstone, and Glacier National Park with my cousins.
I was going to say, is that another solo Gooch trip? Or
That's with Mike and his siblings.
Oh, sweet.
So that'll be fun. Yeah, no solo Gooch endeavor for that.
Gotcha.
And then I come home for 2 days. We're planning on recording an Alien Romulus hot take in between that.
Yep.
But then I'm gone for Labor Day weekend. Casey Wellman, friend of the show, bachelor party in Canada. His family owns a lake house in Ontario.
That's really cool.
They've had it for their whole lives. I'm pretty confident it was their grandparents.
I see.
And they passed it down to Mrs. Wellman's the siblings.
Right.
Her brothers.
I see.
Her. So they all share it.
That's awesome.
So that's what we're going to be doing. But speaking of Casey,
yes,
he's involved in a little
venture, if you will.
Yeah, a little moseying.
Yeah. So if you've been in our Discord and on our socials, you've seen we announced we have started, I should say, recording our next E3, and we are covering none other than Red Dead Redemption #1.
Yes.
With Casey Wellman himself. He's joining us. We already have 2 in the bag. We're splitting it into 4 parts. New Austin, Nuevo Paraiso, West Elizabeth, and the epilogue, as well as Undead Nightmare. I almost forgot the name of the DLC.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so far so good. It should be a lot of fun. We love that Casey was able to come on. We appreciate it, especially with him getting married and stuff like that. So good on him for making it work. We really do appreciate it. But it should be a lot of fun. I've had so much fun talking about it already and playing it again. A little behind the scenes for me. I did just finish at the end of it. We were talking on our thing, so I'm excited to record episode 3.
Yeah, I'm still spoilers after Dutch dies.
Yeah,
that
happens. That's only 3 missions in too, which is funny.
Yeah, you were right. It is kind of short, but now I'm I'm back on Beecher's Hope and we're ranching again.
Absolutely.
It's funny that is so 2.
Yeah,
that you do the same thing.
No, it's true. It's very
interesting.
It rhymes, Gooch. It rhymes.
What rhymes?
It's like poetry.
Oh, I know you were quoting George Lucas, but
it's the games they rhyme. Yeah,
not literally.
Yeah.
I did do my first multiplayer boosting session for some achievements last night because God knows I have to do that.
So
there's so many weird achievements in Red Dead Redemption Online. So
are they
many
less?
Weird ones.
You 100% had Red Dead 2, right?
Yeah.
And were the online ones annoying in that?
Not really.
It was just
I think the
kill
weirdest
so many
one
people.
was I remember you had to get 3 MVPs. And I know there was one involving a posse. I'm trying to remember what it was in Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
And I think we got it randomly, me and you.
Interesting. It might have been having so many people in a posse, or maybe having a large posse.
You had to go after a posse or something like that.
Interesting.
I don't remember. But the multiplayer achievements are just odd. We had to do, basically, we boosted this one where you have to, so in online poker, the blind goes up over time. So the longer you play, the higher the blind is. And then each place has a blind cap. So in McFarlane's Rants, it's 62. So you have to get 6 players, play until the blind gets to 62, and then win on a river, essentially.
Interesting.
So there's a method to it. Basically, the 6 of you join, 2 people stay, everyone else leaves, and then you wait for the blind to get up, and then the one person folds, you check, and you get it. We had to do that 6 times. So it was 3 hours, and then while the 2 people were doing their things, we were just doing other multiplayer achievements. Achievement grinding sessions can be very entertaining if you have a talkative bunch, but sometimes it's like people with like no mics and aren't coordinated. I've had so many achievement boosting sessions from trueachievements.com just go awry because either people don't show up or like somebody doesn't know what they're doing and fucks it up for everyone else. But we all kind of knew what we were doing, and it was a good time.
That's good.
But other housekeeping things, this is kind of an odd one. This has been set in stone for a little bit, but I did want to mention it. Just, it's DNN background stuff. I officially have a DNN drive, and you're probably asking, Gooch, what is the DNN drive? Well, the DNN drive is where every podcast we've ever recorded lives in my house. So we were having, after the Fan Expo panel, I had a hard drive go corrupt on me, and if you listen back, you probably remember me talking about that. And I've been sort of dealing with a hard drive space issue for a while with the podcast, because like I don't keep raw files. I keep the finals, but I don't keep the raws, and I like always delete the clips. But like everything else pretty much has gotten kept. Right. Thumbnails, all that shit. And the hard drives on my computer, like it's a 1 and a 2 terabyte hard drive, like they're just full. Yeah. So I've been needing to move stuff off. I was moving stuff to an external that got corrupt, and I was like, all right, I probably need to nip this in the bud and buy like a super heavy duty, like long-term external drive, which is what I did. That's
a hard drive, right? Not an SSD.
Correct. Yeah. It's actually, isn't an SSD?
I mean, if it's 8 terabytes, that would have been a lot of. I mean,
it was like $300, but okay. It's not like a regular external. Like it has its own power supply. You have to turn it on.
Interesting.
And it reads it as if it's like an internal drive. So like you can't just plug it in and it'll work. It has to like boot up with the computer because it's so big. It like treats it differently. But yeah, so I'm gonna start keeping our clips now, and I've moved everything off my computer on there like a few months ago. But yeah, it's kind of nice to not have this space issue that I mean, really calling it an issue. It's really come to a head just recently.
I mean, because with you doing the computer work and stuff, I assume, right?
Yeah, I do like having like all of our stuff.
No, it is nice.
Like I was talking to like when I was kind of like workshopping like what we were gonna do for this. I was talking to like Dustin Furman of Last Stand, and I'm like, do you guys keep your stuff?
Yeah,
because they do like 4-hour podcasts. Yeah. Those are big fucking files. And he's like, no, we don't. I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
He's like, we keep them for a little bit, but not that long. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So
I guess
it's nice
you then
to
start relying on like YouTube, and then it's like, what happens to you? Yeah. So
right. And I mean, speaking of YouTube, we are doing YouTube Shorts now.
Yeah.
So we're kind of, what sucks about YouTube Shorts, the traction from them has been pretty good. We haven't grown any subscribers, but people are watching them and commenting and liking. But we haven't gotten any sub turnover from it. The shitty part about YouTube Shorts is it has to be a minute. And if it's
a minute? I thought it was 90 seconds.
If it's any longer, it's like a normal video. And I'm like, sometimes like we'll find clips and I'm like, I like this clip, but I'm just going to make a shorter version of it for either Twitter,
right,
which I was doing before, but that was at least 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So now, I might have to shave clips down or, one way or another. Being on YouTube Shorts is good. At first, I was a bit nervous because it put it in like your normal feed, so it just kind of looks spammy on other people's channels. But now YouTube Shorts has its own category and it looks nicer.
Right.
But yeah, it's something I needed to bite the bullet on a while ago.
I thought they were planning on getting rid of Shorts. I thought that was a big news story.
You watch YouTube Shorts a lot. I do. I've watched you like on that before. Like I don't like TikTok and Instagram is that. Like
it's funny. Yeah, I think I use YouTube and Instagram more for sure. I mean, I don't have TikTok, obviously, but
I had to take the bullet there.
Yeah, Gooch, I appreciate it.
The Chinese are coming.
The Chinese have all of Gooch's information, but not mine. Thank God. No, only the United States government has all my information. But where were we going? I just totally lost my train of thought. What were we talking?
You watching YouTube Shorts.
Right. Yeah, no, they're great. There's some really funny ones on there, and I do like how they sometimes when they're from when they're from the specific video, like it just has the link to the video that the clip is from. like at the bottom, so you just click on it.
Yeah, so I can.
I like that
if
a lot.
I make the clip for the Fallout Season 1 show, I can link it to that
Right at the
which
bottom.
is nice. So
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't know if people are actually going to those videos and watch them, but I know we haven't gotten subscribers from them.
Right.
You know, but
and I mean, we just started doing that this month, right? Basically, or has it been 2 months?
Yeah, so I think like end of July, and I
Okay.
did like one a day until I caught up. But again, I don't have a ton of clips.
That are that size. Yeah.
I like deleted them like very quickly, or like I don't like. I'm not gonna go back and edit like a bunch of clips.
No, yeah.
Like the Madam Web one is one that I would like. I would love to put that one up because that was so funny. But I think I deleted it.
Yeah.
And again, it's just like shit.
and it
Like,
sucks because it's not worth having a clip channel yet for how small we are and stuff
No,
like that.
I don't
like,
think clip channels are worth it at all.
I think for certain larger places, I think they are. Because
Okay.
I personally do watch a lot of clips from certain podcasts that I don't necessarily watch religiously. Like, you know who
okay.
I actually have been getting into a lot more recently? He's very popular, but Linus Tech Tips.
Really?
Yeah,
Why
'cause
are you watching Linus?
Because I just got fed one of his clips, and it was just stuff on like gaming and different like
Yeah,
laptop stuff and things
yeah.
like that. And I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. And I haven't watched like full episodes of him yet, but I have been just kind of going down some interested clips.
Remember
that,
when
like,
I was
hit.
having that computer issue that one
Yeah.
weekend? So I actually looked up a video of like how to fix the issue that I had, which was a bent pin on my CPU socket. And Linus Tech Tips, I mean, of course he had a video on
Right.
this, but he had a video of him. And I mean, these pins are like,
razor thin, like hair thin.
yeah,
right? Yeah.
and he gets like a knife and he pries it up. And it was like the most insane thing I've ever watched. But he like kind of, well, Kathy was like, why don't you like look it up and see if you can fix it? Because I really was like, there's no way. And I was
you had
like,
accepted defeat.
I was
Yeah.
like, okay. And then I watched that video, and then that's where I was like, and I texted Tim. I was like, have you ever done this? Can you do this? And then he offered help, and that's how I fixed my computer.
What a guy.
But yeah, Linus
That's
Tech
awesome.
Tips.
That's really cool. Yeah, no, he's
He's got a very funny look.
Well, he does. And
Yeah.
I will say, even for me, like working in the IT industry, a lot more of his stuff is a lot more relevant to me than I realized. Like he was talking about that CrowdStrike thing that happened a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm sure
And,
they
like,
do
that
like
was,
other tech
Oh,
stuff.
for sure.
Yeah.
And like talking about even different, like, you know, companies that I especially deal with now in my job a lot more. So
I wonder where he's based.
I think it's Canada.
Is he Canadian?
Yeah, he's Canadian. Because I hear the aboot all the time, but also I'm pretty sure they've mentioned like up here in the north or something like that a few
Yeah.
different times. But no, I've been only watching his clips. Who knows? Maybe I'll graduate and start watching full episodes of his stuff. But I do like that stuff for sure.
I did want to check in on my new job because I haven't talked about it since I started it. Sort of the last like what we're doing gaming thing, and then we'll get into the games. I have one movie, but we have
also
been
have a
of
movie.
course reviewing a ton of stuff. Deadpool and Wolverine, Still Wakes the Deep.
Yep.
Shadow of the Erd Tree. We
Yep.
have a lot of reviews coming out lately, so
Absolutely.
go check out our backlog of podcasts if you haven't already, and please be sure to leave a comment letting us know what you thought of whatever you watched. Feedback for us, feedback for the game, positives,
A like goes a
negatives.
long way as well.
The
We
like, the
appreciate it.
sub, the share.
Helps with all the algorithmic gods.
You know how it is. But
Yeah.
yeah, I started a new job at the beginning of the summer, and Trio, it's been an all right experience. It's been weird starting a new job, going back to the office, big shell shock.
How long were you at the other job for? 3 years? 4 years?
Oh, Trio, 6.5. buddy.
Oh wow! I did not
6.5.
realize it was that long. Jesus,
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
that's weird because it does not feel like that. At all to me.
2018, which the podcast was so much different when
Yeah.
I started that job, to 2024. So I've been there about 3 months now. I'm still not really acclimated. I have good
It'll take
days,
time.
bad days. I had a point where like I just fucking like totally broke down, and like my therapist where I don't know, it was just like there's a lot of the job isn't hard, but the business is very big and very hard to understand like from a outsider's perspective. And yeah, going into the office is kind of weird still.
Right.
Like I was having like this week I was just like, I'm like sitting here and I'm like, how did I do this 5 days a week? I'm like, you didn't even get to do that.
Yeah, I
and
know,
I'm like,
yeah.
how the fuck was I doing it?
Yeah, I
And-
mean, I was at the office 5 days a week when I worked for sound
Were you?
control. Yeah, I was in there every day. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean
It's
to.
all right, Gooch. No, but no, yeah, I was. But I know, but it was even still different. Like it was 3 people in the office. It was, and then the office
Yeah.
was like a house basically that was converted into an office too. It was a super small business. So different for sure.
Yeah, and like I'm still trying to figure out like my manager and my team and like, you know what's weird? So like my office does have a lot of good perks, like they cater lunch and stuff, which is really cool.
That
so
is
like
awesome.
I just like we have a chef and like it's not catered, it's made there. Our chef,
Like what you can ask for, like he has.
oh well, they have like 2 things a day.
I see,
It's usually
okay.
like some sort of like salad and like something else.
Got it.
And yeah, they have like desserts, ice cream, like, you know, all kinds of sodas, like, you know, fruit, chips. Like, it's awesome. It's great. But like, we're walking to the office and like all my coworkers are talking about is work. And I'm just like, does anyone like, I'm not being talked to about work. They're talking about work around me.
Right.
And I'm just like, you know, like with my other team, I was talking to my past boss, Allie, and I'm like, it was really cool that we had a team that we were all like the same age. We all liked games. We all liked Marvel. We all liked like nerdy
Good stuff
things.
to talk about.
And I was just like, I don't know if we have that. Like, I'm just like they just always seem to talk about work. Like,
It does
I haven't
just feel
caught
like
them.
a bit more corporate. Do you feel?
No,
or it's just yeah. Okay.
I think it's just like the people.
Right.
Not that there's anything wrong with the people, but like
yeah. I know exactly.
yeah,
what you mean.
it's just like I don't think the personalities are all meshing well.
It's
like,
much
in
more
terms
work oriented, maybe even still like for them in that way. I know people even at my job that are much more like, let's move. Honestly, I can be some of that sometime where I'm just like, I don't like, let's get done what we need to get done. I'm not really looking to bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's not to say with my team, I have a very good, like my manager and I talked on a Teams call for like 2 hours the other day about Game of Thrones lore. He knows a lot, but it's that stuff does help a lot when you have that. So I understand.
Yeah, and it helps to get to know people
for
and,
sure.
Yeah, like yeah. So it's been tough. Like I don't know. Like I've been thinking about a lot about like what I want from my next job and like what I want in my future. And it's definitely something more creative. I just need something I can really like get behind.
True.
And like be about and like just kind of like dig into it and then not be something like I don't know a lot about or like, you know, I'm in like, you know, I'm still in like webinars and it's just like. I got this job and I'm like, I don't really think I want to do webinars anymore. Like the first week I'm there.
So it's still the same idea though for you where you were like just monitoring streams mostly, right? Is that kind of what
and setting stuff up and I do like I like manage events as well, which is like I don't really think I like.
Okay.
Like a lot of everyone on my team does different things. There's only one other person on my team who does what I do. And that's kind of weird. I'm not used to that at all. And a lot of people travel, and I have no inclination to travel for work.
Right.
I don't want to fucking do that.
I'd have to be getting paid a lot of money.
Yeah, they're not paying me enough to do that.
Especially with how flights are now. Like, it's one thing even a couple of years ago, but like now, with just how many... Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's something I could do, but it's like I don't really want to do that. And then a question like, why did I even want to work in an office? Like, where the that mentality was such early COVID that I just wanted to go back. But
well, and I think it's because you want to get out of your house, which is understandable.
Yeah,
and I totally understand that.
It's so weird. It's just such mixed feelings. So like I don't know. I feel like this is going to be like a year or two job.
Sure.
And I'll try to move on. It's a nice paycheck. It's nice benefits. It's a nice title. But like I don't think this is ultimately like where I want to be.
I mean, we're at the age of you go where the money is, in my opinion, and and also where you want to go, of course, like what you want to do, but like the age of people hanging at, I mean, the fact that you stayed at that place for 6 years, that's weird. Wild these days.
I know.
Like that is not the current, and that's just the way it is because that's the way the economy is working. You need to go where the money is, and you get more money going to a new company than getting hired up from within. So it's fucking stupid. But yeah, it's tough, Gooch. You're starting a new job's going to be different, of course. You know that.
Yeah.
And so some growing pains.
Yeah, the schedule's been like weirdly consistent too. Like we go in 2 days a week, but like we got our roof redone, so like we weren't in the office for 3 weeks, and then 4th of July, and then I'm on vacation now. Like so, I was in the office last week and this week, and then I'm gone for like 2 or 3 weeks. Like
no one's even paying attention who's coming into my office.
And it seems like people care some days and then people don't the others. It's like
there's I think 8 people on my team. 2 of us have to go in because we're within the ring of the office. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, and again, I'm in there. It's not tough. It's 2 days a week, but like I'm on the phone all the time, and then I have all these other people on the phone around me, and we're all talking over each other. It's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're Gen Z bitches. We're bitch. I guess we're millennials still.
I'm a fucking millennial.
But we're our cultural touchstones are all the Gen Z stuff. We're Zillennials. We are. That's where our age range is. It's like I was the last millennial year. All of our I'm telling you, Gooch. We'll play. I have a game. It's a trivia game at my place. It's called I can't remember what it's called, but it has 4 packs of trivia cards and it's different generations. It's Gen Z.
I've been holding this.
It's Gen Z. It's millennial. Then it's boomer. It's all of them. And I barely knew anything from millennial. It's all the Gen Z stuff
because we're on the back end of
exactly.
Well, at least I am.
And so am I. I mean, I'm the last millennial year is 95. I'm a zillennial technically is when I googled it. Fun stuff.
Yeah, you can keep that one. All right, let's talk about some what games we're playing. I got a lot, but like not really. So I platinum Resident Evil Revelations 2. I think I was like talking about that, playing through that, but I finished that off, which is good. And my only movie. So I've been going through the RE series for like 3 years now.
Right.
Like 4 maybe. And so after Revelations 2, it's Resident Evil 6, the one with the giraffe blowing itself on the cover. The 6 looks like a giraffe blowing itself.
Oh my god, it does. I've never thought of that. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
It's now that you pointed it out to me, I can see it in my mind's eye.
So this was like living on a prayer for me. Except now it's 6.
All right.
So in between that, there's a movie called Resident Evil Damnation, which I watched. And I've been trying to watch like the tie-in animated movies, like, really get the full experience.
Right.
Not good. It felt like RE5 if they made RE5 about Leon and it was just bad.
Interesting.
Like it feels like a rejected concept for like an RE5.
Why? Because like the RE5. Not because of like location wise. It just feels like an unused concept for like a Resident Evil game.
Right? Because it's like it's like RE4. Like Leon's in like fucking like some Russian Slavic country, and there's like some civil war going on, and they're using like bioweapons, and he's there to like figure it out. And it's exactly.
It was
like
a trudge.
4.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this sucks.
Yeah.
I'm just like, ugh. So yeah.
Is that the weird 3D animation? Or is it? Or is it like
weird 3D animation? What do you mean?
There's
weird?
one that's not weird, like the Final Fantasy type almost style. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's some newer ones. I'm kind of looking forward to getting to those. But it is kind of interesting to watch these like very niche movies.
How old is that?
2011. This one.
Oh, okay.
There's 2 more from earlier.
Interesting.
And they were better.
All right.
And speaking of Resident Evil, I finally played through Separate Ways.
Oh, nice.
Did my 2 playthroughs. Did my professional S+ rank. That's about 2 hour and 30 minute speed run for that. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it's better than the original Separate Ways, but like you finished it, right?
I did.
I played
it months ago.
It's generally the same thing.
Oh, it's
in,
more
like, in the original. It's like here's what Ada was doing when Leon was doing this.
Right.
But it's like in the original, it's like much more base.
I see.
And there's not much more story to it, where in this one you're getting a little bit more exposition on like what Luis and Ada are doing, and like what she's thinking, and it was fine. It was fun. Glad I got around to it. It took me a while.
I liked
$10.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah.
I really liked it's funny, I didn't love, and I think this isn't a random opinion. A lot of people said this when it came out, but her voice actor wasn't great for me in the main campaign.
Yeah.
I think she's still not amazing to me in Separate Ways, but I think she was much better.
I don't really think I have much an opinion about it.
That's fair.
It is what
she
it
just
is.
felt stilted to me in the main campaign, but I didn't feel that really at all in Separate Ways, so.
And before I got to Separate Ways, I decided, I'm going away. I don't want to jump into too many big RPGs. I'm still playing Kingdom Come Deliverance, playing Red Dead. We talked about that, so I won't mention that again. So on PlayStation 4, I decided to jump into 2 PSP games that recently came to the premium service, Daxter and Jak and Daxter Lost Frontier, the 2 PSP Jak games I never played. Daxter by who else but Ready at Dawn, the recent developer who just closed. That was their first game.
That's wild.
So Naughty Dog gave them the IP, and they were like, make a PSP spin-off game, and it's Daxter in between Jak and Daxter 1 and 2, and what Daxter's doing while he's trying to look for Jak in the beginning of that game, and he's like he like kills bugs.
Oh,
and it basically just is like, here's this little gameplay loop to get you to the beginning of Jak 2. That's all it is. Pretty good though.
That's cool
for what it is. But the bad of it, Jak, Daxter, and the Lost Frontier is like horrible. Horrible game.
Well, it's just it's all platforming bullshit, right?
It's like Jak and Daxter. It's like you're playing as Jak, but like it's a different voice actor. It's not really gritty like Jak 2 and 3 are. It's just like like the characters feel different. We're in like some sky region with like some places we've never seen before, and they're just like, oh, this is here. It's like, what? You know, it just feels like they really just like pulled some random shit out of their ass and just made it into a game, and like, here you go. And it's just, the weapons aren't great. Nothing about it feels good.
That's unfortunate.
Platinum both of these, not too bad platinums, but just like, I heard this game had a reputation of being shit, and it is. And really it lived up
to the hype. Yeah,
like I was like, okay, like it'll be fine.
It can't be that bad, guys.
Right, it'll be fine. But no, I am not playing anything on PlayStation. I'm not gonna touch it until I get back.
That makes sense.
With Astrobot.
Right, that comes out September 14th.
No, it's like the 6th. Okay. It's the weekend after Labor Day.
Okay.
It's like the Friday after.
So, oh man, okay. So then I'll have Outlaws.
Really quick, you're getting Outlaws?
100%.
I'm like, I don't know why I'm being.
Don't feel the need to if you don't want to.
I want to get it, but like and it's Star Wars, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
So like that's another reason I want to get it, but I think I'm gonna get it.
I've just been seeing there was one that like
I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but neither of you.
No, for sure. And I mean,
so what am I worried about, guys?
Exactly. But I mean, I usually don't pre-order till like a week out usually, anyways. And I am gonna get this one. I don't know. I might still get it physically just so I can have the innate value of the disc. But like, it's not all on the disc, Gooch.
I know.
What are we? It's Ubisoft. I will give them shit too. They seem to be doing this with all their games. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Put the entire game on your disc. There's no reason not to. But yeah, that's good to know.
I got one more thing.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite, 100%. All the achievements. We're done. Me and Kathy finished our co-op playthrough, and that's it.
What
that's
a gal you have to help you with that.
I know.
Good job. Good job.
We were talking to Matt the other day, and like she had a lot of fun with it, and like we were talking about the campaign, and she was like really like enjoyed it. And then we were talking to Matt, and we were like telling him that we did this. We were like on Xbox. It was like right after we finished, and she's like, "Yeah, I was just along for the ride." I was like. I'm like, really?
Yeah, I was just along. It's all right.
But yeah, I'm done Halo Infinite. I wish our friends and you just played that multiplayer a little bit more.
Not, me with multiplayer in general.
I know.
I'm just not a consistent multiplayer guy. It's just how it goes. I go in spurts. I mean, Ian's definitely on more now. I got to play more with him for sure too. Maybe we can hop on soon. But you know me.
But what are you playing, Trio?
So obviously Red Dead, we went through a little bit, so I won't touch too much more deeply into that.
Right.
Great time to get back into though. I also started Star Wars Bounty Hunter, the remaster that was just put out by Aspyr.
Yeah.
$20. Never played the game. It was getting some pretty good reviews.
Neither have
I. I don't remember when it originally came out. Probably like 2000. I want to say 6-ish, something around there. It's fun. They updated all the looks pretty well. I mean, it still has that old style to it. It's still a 2000 whatever looking game, but they definitely polished it up. It runs very smoothly. It's at 60 frames, I'm pretty sure. You play as Jango Fett as I think it's before Attack of the Clones, because it starts with Dooku like having a talk with Sidious, and he's like, "We need to find someone to start our clone army," and he's like, "Yes, master."
Tyrannus.
Exactly. Darth Tyrannus. Lord Tyrannus.
Tyrannus. Yeah. Like they can't decide how they want to say it.
I mean, that's everything. What's her name dies 3 times in Star Wars. The Twi'lek. Yeah, Shakti.
Yeah,
so, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. I gotta say, so far, the updated control scheme, I could imagine the old one where you probably shoot with A and dodge with square.
Matt, I actually watched Mr. Matty Plays video on it, and he was mentioning that like I think square was shoot, and it was like hurting him, and it kind of reminded me of playing Hellblade when I was talking about my hands hurting from sprinting.
Yeah. But it is fun. I gotta say, so far, Aspyr seemed to do a pretty good job. Aspyr was supposed to do the Old Republic remake, but now that's with who is it with now?
I don't think we know, do we?
We do. Because we had a discussion about this in the Discord because Penza was talking about it with me. It might be Embracer. It might not. I can't remember. But someone is supposedly, according to the CEO, actively working on it. But yeah, I would definitely recommend checking it out if you've never played it. It's only $20. I got it on Steam just so I could run it a little higher. It is, I got to say, Gooch, it is nice having the gaming PC to get certain games on it. I randomly, I didn't even put it on here, but I have been playing Papers, Please too again. I showed Tamira
on PC.
Yeah, and she actually was really liking it too.
Boom, boom,
boom. What did they do after that? The ship one, right? That you were talking
Return
about?
Return Oberdin.
Right. Okay. I should get that one because they really
fantastic too.
Papers, Please is such a fun little game for sure. If you've never checked it out,
they never ported it to console.
It kind of makes sense to me.
Sure.
I think I should say I think they should port it, but like put it. You need a mouse and keyboard because I feel like playing that with a controller would be kind of hellish.
I mean, if they can make Baldur's Gate 3...
oh, for sure. I agree.
I think they can figure it out.
I think even more so than Baldur's Gate, though, with the way you're, like, shuffling through papers and, like... I feel like using a mark on that would be a nightmare.
Did Tamira's, like, the political undertones?
She did. Yeah. We scanned the first guy, and she's like, oh, okay, you can see everything. Because, like, you have to do the, like, when they come through with contraband and stuff. It really gets complicated. It's a lot of fun if you ever play that game. But, yeah, also, just to finish off Star Wars Bounty Hunter, definitely pick that up if you... haven't played it. If you're a Star Wars fan, it's only $20. I think it's well worth it so far. And I did start this a little while ago. I haven't quite gotten back to it in like a week, but I picked it up because it was so cheap. It was Sly Cooper, actually, because I wanted to try.
So that PS5
version, yeah. The emulated version.
When I played it, it was the Sly Collection streamed one,
right?
And I would love to play just the first Sly again.
It's cool, and I gotta say the emulate, or I guess it's not. I guess it's kind of like an emulator. Apparently, it works like an emulator. You have like save states, like the game.
That's what Daxter and the Lost Frontier work like that. I forgot to even mention that with the like. I like the rewind feature.
Yeah.
Like
you can really
rewind. You really cheese,
especially for Sly Cooper. You could like really like because you fall off. You're like, oh, go back 2 screens. Okay.
You know what part I'm thinking of that would be so helpful? Have you played Sly before?
Yeah, a long time ago though.
Okay,
like,
so
it's funny.
Miss
I don't
Ruby,
remember
the music part where like you're going towards her and you have to like dodge. The face buttons. That part was so hard as a kid, and it's still a bit difficult.
Of course,
and it's just like what the fuck, and you can just rewind that shit.
So like the way it works, it just keeps constant save states of your game that you can rewind to, and then you also have save slots, and this is all like in a PS4 menu, but you can also just play the game straight as it was intended. Like you just go at checkpoints and stuff like that.
And they have
you don't have to use that.
You notice like the weird filters they have?
Yeah.
It's kind of odd.
It is kind of weird. Like you can make it look more retro is the idea, right? I don't know. Some people might like that. I could see playing that on I guess you can't plug a PlayStation into a CRT, a PS5. Maybe there's converters of some kind. But like on an old TV like that would look interesting. But yeah, Sly Cooper's a lot of fun. Still holds up, and I was actually kind of surprised. A game I really liked when I was younger, but I don't remember very well because I was so young when I played it, if that makes any sense. But anywho, let's move on here. I've been playing Starfield again, huge, actually.
I've noticed.
I've been very heavily neck deep, I could even say, in the stars, and it's been a lot of fun. I don't know why. I just kind of picked it up and suddenly really kind of just hit my streak on it again. I'm like level 80 right now, and I'm close to finishing my second playthrough,
80?
technically.
Holy shit.
What?
It's at level 80? Holy shit. When I go back, I've been wanting to. I think Kingdom Come Deliverance and Red Dead are kind of like...
occupying that space.
Right, that open world kind of space. I'll eventually get back to it. I'm really not worried about
Oh, no, absolutely.
Right
and
now,
I mean, honestly, I don't know why I specifically picked it up. I think because I did start trying out No Man's Sky, the new update, but I got bored. And I was like, but I still want space stuff. So then I went
Shattered
back on.
Space is still coming out this year, right?
Yeah. And I will say, if they do announce that on PlayStation 5, Gooch, and like they sell a complete copy with the DLC, I'm probably gonna buy that just to have it on disc on my PlayStation.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know, crazy stuff. But yeah, so that comes out, I think, no like holiday time. They don't have a solid date for it yet, but I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see the Varun stuff. Moving on, 2 more here for me. Spider-Man 2, I just picked up randomly. I don't know why. I started my New Game Plus playthrough. I don't like that game that much, Gooch. It's so fun.
I would go back to, like, I know we kind of had this opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, it being a sequel, but like, it's
I
just
shouldn't
like,
say I don't like it that much, but yes.
It's just like not really hitting the marks it really needed to, and not really living up to that first one.
It feels just so condensed, I think, is really my issue. It just
feels
feels like
much going on.
And things just move so quickly, and like, people don't have enough time to breathe character-wise. I think Harry's super underserved, unfortunately. But you know what they did nail in that game, Gooch? The fucking symbiote suit. I love that design. It's so wet and disgusting, and it's like moving up and down like his arm and like the joint areas and like the webbing and like tendrils behind his neck. Awesome. Oh, it looks so good. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun to swing around New York City, I will say. It's more Spider-Man. I can't really fault it for that. But and then I don't know why all of a sudden I decided to hop into Outlast too. Outlast TOO, the first Outlast,
not the second game.
Not the second one. I think that game is
Trials came out, right?
Yeah, I know, but like it's not really I think what I'm looking for. It's like a team-based thing. Like multiplayer.
I don't know what it is, to be quite honest.
I'm a little confused by it too. No, I mean, I guess it's selling okay, but that does it kind of sucks because I do love Outlast 1. I think Outlast 2 isn't as good. I think they kind of overpower the shock value on that one a lot to a degree that just doesn't work.
Outlast 2.
Do you think that's because you had to do all the achievements?
No.
You just didn't like it the first time around?
Yeah, I just really didn't enjoy the story.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's really sexual.
And they lean into like the hillbilly like horror type stuff, like almost like a Hills Have Eyes type weird shit, like Southern country horror. Yeah. And it's a little they do it too much.
Fuck women and
and
talk about cunts.
And just like it's weird. It's some really odd stuff.
Like, ugh.
And I think Outlast 1 does a better job with its shock. Like there's some the beginning when you walk in and the guy's like on the pike and he wakes up and he's like, oh, you got to get the fuck out of here, man. And I'm like, oh, this like that's like good, but it's not so. And I mean, he's surrounded by severed heads and bodies and shit. But it just works so much better, I think, in Outlast 1 and is so much more contained. And I forget a lot of the jump scares, so it's been a lot of fun for me to go through actually and play it again. It's a great haunted house game, like that Amnesia style survival runaway horror. Can't recommend it enough if you've never played it. But don't play it if you're not a horror game person because it is not for the faint of heart.
I'm yawning a lot. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I've been those days just happen. But last one for me, and it's a movie, Long Legs. I saw a couple weeks ago. We talked about it in the Discord a bit. I thought it was very good, thoroughly unpleasant and sad, which is kind of I feel like the point. Nick Cage is a bit too Nick Cage in it for me, though. I think he was kind of my biggest miss for me.
That's what you're getting when you hire him.
No, I think he can rein it in when he needs to or is like instructed to or is like that's what they're looking for. I felt like they did kind of bring him in here and just were like, just take this whatever you way, go buck wild, man. And I just couldn't not see Nick Cage, if that makes any sense. I can't remember the woman who plays the main character in it, but she is very good. Definitely Silence of the Lambs-ish. I know there's all these taglines of like the best horror since Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, and stuff like that. And,
I can hear the trailer person saying it.
And they did a great job marketing that movie. I remember seeing it everywhere without even seeing a trailer, really, which was interesting. I really didn't know what was going to come, but very good. Very good indeed. I would definitely recommend checking it out, especially if you're a horror person. But that does it for me, Gooch, I think, on my what have I watching, doing, reading, all the fun stuff. Shall we move on?
Let's get into our topic. Let's talk about Mr. Robert Downey Jr.
RDJ.
And his re-entrance into the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Dr. Doom. We got this announcement. I mean, if you've been living under a fucking rock, I mean, I think everyone pretty much knows this, but at San Diego Comic-Con at Marvel's Hall H panel, a lot of things were shown. We got a little bit Fantastic Four. They showed some Thunderbolt stuff, some Brave New World stuff, Captain America stuff. But
what was all the stuff coming out yesterday? That was D23?
Yeah, D23.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
I was confused. Yeah. I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I guess they had like an animation thing because that's where some of that stuff was coming out from. Yeah, so we're recording this the weekend of D23, but so we've seen a little bit more of Born Again and a little bit more. We saw Red Hulk.
Yeah, we did. We saw the Fantastic Four trailer was out there. I'm waiting for them to release that.
Those set photos, and I just kind of need them to shut the fuck up about all that shit.
I mean, it makes sense. You're talking about the movies,
especially
that are
like Daredevil. Like, stop talking about it. Like,
but this is the first time they showed it like at like a panel like this. It's only just been like
I know, but like we haven't seen it yet. And season 2 is recording. I'm like, we're season 1, dude. We haven't even seen a trailer yet. What the fuck are you talking about?
But that's like normal TV now, unfortunately. Like that's like what shows do. And also, but I agree with you. But I think Daredevil has just been in development hell for the past 3 years. They haven't talked about it really in an official capacity.
Yeah, it is.
So this is the first time we finally really actually saw something, which was nice. But
anyway,
yeah,
back in time
indeed. So
let's set the stage, shall we? Do you want to set it?
Yeah, this is funny though because like this was a rumor I saw the week before. where I was like,
you know, it's funny. This was like the theory. Like everyone was talking about Doctor Doom with the Kang thing, and I want to get into that proper, and I'm gonna let you finish, Drew.
Right.
But like, you know, the fact that like this was like the fan thing is interesting.
I don't. Well, so the fan thing. What do you mean? Like the
people were like, oh,
let's bring Doom
in, and then like the other part of it is like I heard people say like RDJ is Doom. I heard people say it.
The last time I heard it, like it was like 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks before San Diego Comic-Con, Mr. Sunday Movies. They were talking about it on the podcast, and I think it was like my time. There was someone who was saying it, and yeah, they nailed it. I don't think that they changed to Doom because of the fans. I think they changed to Doom because of what happened.
Jonathan
the actor who plays
Majors.
Kang,
Yeah,
and all that stuff started leaking after about. Like they're looking to pivot now because they have to, and they need to go to Doom. So I think they're really doing that just because they have no other
domestic
way to go.
assault case aside. Yeah, it seems like Quantum Mania's poor box office revenue was the reason for this pivot.
No, I don't think
like
so.
I think that's what. But I think so. What I'm saying is, before those allegations, there were talks about that. From what I have heard.
I don't remember
and what
that
I have
very
read,
much.
that people were like, even before the allegations, they were trying to take Kang out of their basket a little bit. And I don't necessarily know what that means, because I think we could have done. I think we could have done Kang Dynasty and we could have moved on from Kang. I didn't think Kang was going to be a long-lasting villain, and that's why I didn't want Doom coming in. Because I feel like Doom is a villain you really build up, and he sticks around and he doesn't leave. You know,
right?
He's not a one-offer. And you know, well, continue.
No, yeah. So I
want to get ahead of myself.
No worries. So yeah, it was something I honestly didn't really believe. I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, this is hilarious.
Right. It seems far-fetched.
It seemed very far-fetched. And like the Russo brothers have been talking to Marvel for the last year about coming back, so I'm not surprised about that at all.
Yeah, and that rumored like the week before too.
Well, so
wait, are you talking about RDJ rumored or
no the Russo brothers?
Okay,
they've been chatting with them for like a year at least about like going back and forth. Like, but the RDJ stuff supposedly he only came back because they were coming back. Like that was one of his like stipulations was like unless they're directing, I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
Which I guess that does make sense to me in a lot of ways, but I did not expect this at all, and I think they were never gonna not get the look of like, well, this seems a little desperate. What are we doing here, guys? We're really scraping the bottom of the barrel, and I think that's an incredibly fair and the right take to a degree. I'm still kind of blown away that they're doing this. I think monetarily and like hype wise, it makes all of the sense in the world to me. I mean, the way that blew up, my mom asked me about it.
My mom asked me about it too. And not soon after you said your mom asked
it was just
so
funny. She was like, what's going on with Robert Downey Jr.? He's like back or something? Like, everyone heard about that, for better or for worse. And, you know, there was definitely the reaction online, the regulars of going, which either way. But I don't know. I was much more of the mind at this point where I'm just going to wait and see, and I'm not going to get that bent out of shape at this point because I would hope in my mind that Robert Downey Jr. really thought about this from a degree where he's like, I feel like I can do something different here. And there is precedent for actors playing two different people in the thing, so that doesn't even necessarily matter. It's more the fact that he was such a major character already that now...
And he's barely been gone.
Sure, yeah.
And that's sort of my issue, so...
I mean, it's almost 10 years, right? When was Endgame?
Endgame? Come on. It hasn't been that long. Like 5 or 6 years?
It was 2018, sorry, yeah. Or 2019. So, what? That's 5 years.
5 years. Not that long.
Sounds about right for comics.
Yeah, true.
Unfortunately.
So Kang Dynasty is out. Avengers Doomsday is in.
Sorry. One more quick thing. I just want to say, if he didn't get that allegation, they're still doing Kang. In my opinion, I think there's no way they're pivoting. Like I think that they would then introduce, because the whole thing was that Kang was going. The rumor was that Kang was going to collapse the entire multiverse and create Secret Wars and create Warworld.
Right.
Which now seems what they're just doing with Doom.
We'll get to.
Yeah.
We'll get to.
Yeah.
Let's. I'm gonna just build up a little bit more.
Yeah.
So yeah, Doomsday is in. We get the Feige on stage talking about it, and we don't really know much about the movie other than really what we've talked about. But the Russo brothers are back. And they're going to be doing that and Secret Wars.
Yeah, which they'll probably film back to back.
And we all know that Kang Dynasty was. Well, sorry, don't mean to generalize. Kang Dynasty was in development hell. They were going through directors and writers. Maybe not Blade level hell, but like there were people rotating in and out of that project. Obviously, we weren't there yet.
Sure.
So, that maybe that also has a compounding factor.
Sure.
The Russo brothers are talking about it, and they kind of debut. It's like, well, if we're gonna do Doctor Doom, we need one of the best actors in the world to play it, and you have all these like Doom cronies on stage, and then like
masks.
and masks, and then somebody else walks to the center, in a mask. Nobody knows who it is. This person takes the mask off. It's Robert Downey Jr. They announce that he is playing, and this is verbatim, Victor Von Doom.
Yeah.
Obviously, Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
I don't believe that, by the way. I don't think he's Victor Von Doom.
I do.
The more I think about it, the more I am not convinced that they're lying to throw people off. They've done it before, especially the Russo brothers with their movies.
Outright like that, though, I've never seen them outright lie like that. In trailers and stuff like that.
I mean,
seems like a
we
weird...
were going to do Kang Dynasty, and now we're not.
But why hold that back?
Because they don't want to ruin it. They don't want to ruin the moment where we find out that this Doctor Doom is a variant of Tony Stark.
Because I think that makes people hate it. Like, I think you have to make him Victor Von Doom.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't think they're going to do that.
So here's why I pivoted a little bit. So my reaction to this news, not good. I wanted to pull my hair out. I'm like, I cannot, like Trio said, I cannot believe we are scraping the bottom of the barrel. The Russo brothers haven't had a good movie.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm saying people were saying that.
I'm saying that. We're of course they're bringing back Robert Downey Jr. It was bound to happen, but it's probably in a worse way than I could have imagined. I don't understand why they'd bring back an actor who had such a pivotal role in the MCU as Iron Man and bring him back as another character. I just, in the moment, I felt like it didn't make sense. I kind of get why they're doing it, because it's going to have a huge impact once we see...
It's $1 billion movie. Easy.
Once we see his face, whatever the lore is, it's gonna be a big moment in Marvel.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Russo, Marvel hasn't been doing good. Deadpool and Wolverine aside, I feel like it's hard to even kind of compound that with the rest of the MCU, because we know
Guardians did well, Thor did well monetarily.
Let's not act like all their TV projects have been shit.
I'm not saying it's all daisies and rainbows.
Made piss,
sure,
compared to Deadpool.
But I'm just saying it's not
which was their last movie, by the way.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's not like they're not going anywhere at the moment. It's all I'm saying.
I know. Yeah, they're not. But they have not been in a good place.
I agree with that, 100%.
In the conversation, whether it's the normie or the superfan.
Completely agree.
Marvel is in the absolute lowest point, like Deadpool told us in the movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So bringing back the Russo brothers, the duo who did some of the most successful Marvel movies, of course, one of our favorites, The Winter Soldier, and of course, Infinity War and Endgame and Civil War.
Yeah.
But they haven't had a good movie since.
No.
So their careers could do for it, as well as Marvel's bottom line.
Sorry.
And it just felt like...
I will say that I don't think that the Russos' names add anything for a normie, in my opinion. I think the normal person who went and saw Endgame, that was part of that big crowd, has no idea who directed Endgame.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Is that you think that's fair to say?
Maybe.
Because what did we say the other week that we went to see, and you were like, I don't even know who directed this movie or something like that.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, so it was like I think that their name isn't as big of a hook. I think
to be fair, I don't know most of the directors for the MCU.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they're nobodies.
Sure, and I think some stand out. James Gunn, of course, he's the big one, but I don't think a director name. I think they brought them back because Robert just mainly, not all. They're obviously good.
So let's talk about that contract deal
Sure.
that Variety broke. Was it 80 to 80 to 90 million, or was it
to? Let me see here.
I was like, it wasn't 800 to 900 million. That'd be insane. Or was it?
I'm trying. All right, here's the Variety article. Agbo.
So while Trio's looking that up, Robert Downey Jr.'s had some stipulations for coming back, and he seemed like, when I saw the Variety article, I kind of was like, did Robert Downey Jr. recognize Marvel was not in a good place and realize he could probably workshop a deal totally in his advantage and make a lot of money, and also sort of save the MCU? I don't know. You know,
I mean, listen. I think that there's definitely a negotiation aspect to that. He knows he has the upper hand, so he's going to ask for what he can. But he also, I would like to think, maybe he does kind of actually want to come back to this. The way he's talked about even Iron Man the last couple of years is like it did give him his name back in a lot of ways. So I think he does have a lot of love for this universe in general. But do I think monetarily that compelled him the most? Yeah. And yeah, he probably did know that he had them over.
But it's funny, like it's not like he needs it. Like he was in Oppenheimer. He won an Academy Award for that movie. You know, it's interesting. He doesn't need Doctor Doom or Marvel anymore.
And that's what leads me to believe, and like leads me to hope a little, and that he feels like he can truly do something different with this character that really sets him apart from Iron Man.
New mask, same task, Trio. I don't know what that means, but
yeah,
I think he definitely said that off the cuff.
Oh, he did. Yeah, that's absolutely what he did.
I'm like, what is?
And
what does
like
that mean?
You said, I don't know what origin they're gonna do for him. There's a bunch of. It's funny, Doctor Doom. I really, excuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't know a ton about his origin for how popular he is. Like sometimes
the Latveria stuff.
Like I know that he's from Latveria, but beyond that, I don't really know how he gets from like
Latveria to working with
Reed
Four.
And then going back and then. God damn it. Sorry. So I wasn't really super aware of that, but I mean, I guess sometimes like it's his mom's. He has magic powers a lot. His mom was a witch who's like trapped in hell sometimes as well because she's trying to free Latveria.
Yeah, he's a magical based character.
Yeah, I thought he was more science based. And then like in certain things he has like his whole face is fucked up. In other ones he just has like a scar and he's super vain, so he wears the mask. So I'm wondering.
And other ones his mask is burned.
Is like burned to his face. Yeah, like he puts. I think it literally is. He puts the mask on too quickly after he molds it or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
So it depends on kind of what they're doing with that. I think they could. I think a route that they could easily go is never showing his face.
I think that would be a cool route.
I think it would too.
Really like that.
Or if they do, his face is mangled beyond recognition. Like you can't even recognize almost that he is Robert Downey Jr.
Right. So, but like I think that like think about the moment of like when he does take his mask off and some Avenger or somebody who knew Tony Stark goes, "Holy shit, that's Tony."
And I do think there is some interesting ideas there.
How do you do that if his face is all mangled? It's just I'm not
for sure.
doubting you. Just a question.
Oh no, for sure. I think then you can't do that. What you're saying. Right. I think when you mangle his face, that's how you truly kind of make him a separate entity.
Iron Man has become Doctor Doom. It's a thing in the comics.
They like switch brains, right, or something.
Yeah, and like Doctor Doom is like wearing an Iron Man suit. Yeah. And like, so it's not necessarily out of the realm of possibility. There's also a what if of him being Doctor Doom.
A comic or like an actual or a
he's like where it's like an Iron Man suit, but it's like a Doctor
Doom style. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and it's just like, okay, what the obvious thing is, I guess number one is it's Victor Von Doom from whatever universe the Fantastic Four film is being, which is it was not Earth 616. No. I guess that's the easy example. I don't really even want to talk about necessarily the origin. We could sit here for years and theorize shit. I mean, we don't even know if he's going to be in Fantastic Four. It doesn't look like he is. I mean,
think he's going to show up in some
capacity.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I guess the other version is it's some variant of Tony Stark, and maybe it's Doctor Doom who just looks like Tony. Maybe it's actually Tony Stark who, again, some difference in his story, he becomes Doctor Doom for some reason.
Well,
maybe no affiliation with Fantastic Four.
We have precedent now for this of just characters from Deadpool. Because of Chris Evans coming up as just showing up as
and Henry Cavill is the Wolverine. Yeah, so we have a variant of a character who doesn't look like the rest.
Exactly. So I think like you can just easily be like, he's Victor Von Doom. That's it. And I hope they do that personally. I don't want him to be.
You want the simpler route, not the he's from this Earth where this happened and he's here.
And I don't even think it needs. Yeah, I guess it is not more the simpler route. It's just more like I just want him to just be Victor Von Doom. Like he doesn't need to be Tony Stark that is born in Latveria and then becomes bad.
I don't. Here's why. Like I was saying earlier, I feel like Doctor Doom, when you bring in him, he is a long-term character. He's going to be here for like 15 years. I think Doctor Doom is a villain you keep around. He's not a one-shot movie villain. And that's our Victor Von Doom, not knowing RDJ is him, whoever they bring in, we're going to do Victor Von Doom, quote unquote, correct.
Sure.
I think the route we're going is whoever this Victor Von Doom is will not be sticking around. And we will see him in Doomsday and Secret Wars.
And then another guy comes up and is like, "Ooh, it's my mask." I mean,
and Tony will be gone, or Robert Downey Jr. will be gone, and then we'll get another version of Doctor Doom that is like the more.
But then you're just gonna do Doom twice, but a different.
But dude, is RDJ gonna stick around for this character all these years?
But how long is he sticking around? I get that in comics, where you're gonna have to recast everyone eventually.
Sure, but
if you want to keep these going,
let's be realistic.
I think at most he's in 4 to 5 movies again.
So the second Fantastic Four movie, Secret Wars, Doomsday, and something else,
and some other so 3 and then 2 more. So we got but even Fantastic Four, I don't know if I'd count that. I think he's gonna be like a stinger. Maybe he does end up being the villain, and we're just not
for Secret Wars.
No, for Fantastic Four. Well, and because we don't know. Beyond that, it's in the 60s. What's happening in that at all?
True.
I could and what's his name apparently knew the director for Fantastic Four knew about this casting for the last year. He said in an interview, or
the last year,
or 8 months for a while. He said.
Did you find the number from the Variety?
I was trying to read through it. It's so long.
You couldn't find a tweet?
No, that's a good idea. I didn't think about that. I want to say it's 80 million. You're right.
Or go to our Discord. Go to our Discord and scroll up. You'll find it.
I can search.
Yeah, because I'm really curious about that. Yeah. So I feel like RDJ being Doom is an easy thing to come in, have the shock value, and then he's out. I just can't imagine Robert Downey Jr. wants to be tied down to Marvel again. He didn't do that much when he was in the MCU. He had a few movies, but he really didn't have all that much going on.
What do you mean?
Other than the Marvel movies.
Oh, yeah. But aside from... Oh, yeah. Well, and I think that's because he was fairly committed because they gave him his...
It makes sense. But, he wants to be under ball and chain again?
He ain't got no ball and chain now. He's got the ball and chain on Marvel. So that's the thing. And, I think that's kind of the... I got to scroll fucking long as hell here. I'm going to go to Variety. I know it's $80 million and then a bunch of... other stuff on top of it. I'm trying to look on Variety.
Yeah, I think it's important. I think we should bring it up.
Right. So we should have pulled that up before.
We're scrolling up, baby.
Yeah, we're scrolling up.
DNN Discord. Join. Tell us what you think about Doctor Doom in the comments.
But there was some other stuff on that where it was that people were like, wow, this is crazy. That's actually pretty normal for and I think you might have even had on the other movies. It was the trailer lot or something like that.
I got it. Significantly more than 80 million, private jet travel, dedicated security on set, a whole trailer encampment on set.
Yeah.
It just when I read this, it just kind of seemed gross. He really was you're going to give me everything I want or I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
What else would this be? Right. And I'm saying it in a negative way, but I'm saying it in also a realistic way. Only coming back if the Russo brothers come back. And I was trying to mention it earlier. We saw what happened. And I know they did Infinity War and Endgame, but let's be realistic. It's pretty much one movie in a way.
Well, yeah. And sure. And they filmed it all at the same time, right. Which they're probably going to do with these next two.
Joss Whedon came back to do Age of Ultron, which is, I think, factually considered objectively the worst Avengers movie, regardless if you like it or not.
Yeah.
But it is. And then, we all know what happened to Joss Whedon after that. His career totally tanked, and I think he's done.
But
I don't think we'll ever see him again.
That's not because he was a bad director.
I know.
But that's just because he got Me Too'd.
Right, right. He got canceled.
But, I don't think that's... Can I say why I don't think that's an apt comparison at all? Because they did, 4 MCU movies, and they're all fucking great. And, yeah, sure, you can say that maybe make it 3. Infinity War and Endgame are the same movie, whatever. But like Civil War is awesome. Winter Soldier's awesome. Infinity War and Endgame are awesome. They had to juggle a ton of stuff. I think they can do it. And I think that they realize, like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go play in my court. I know what I'm doing over there, and I know how to do it well.
And they
so
did,
I just don't think it's as compared.
I don't know if you saw the interview when they, at some point they did mention that they wanted to do Secret Wars.
That makes sense. And I do believe that. And I think, listen, if we were in a different world where maybe they were doing a little bit better and their movies were a bit bigger hits, maybe they don't take this. But I do think Downey has like a bit of, what's the word, loyalty to Marvel in some ways. I do. Yeah, I think he's willing to. I think he's willing to get what he's worth from them at this point, because he's going to make them $1 billion. I do think that. You can bookmark this. I might be wrong, and I'll happily say if I'm wrong and if Doomsday does terribly. But I think it's $1 billion movie no matter what happening now, because he's coming back. I understand being at that perch and being like, listen, I appreciate you guys. I loved working with you. I was working with you for 10 years, but if you want me back, I want my bag. And, when you read out all that stuff, yeah, it does sound kind of gross. But that's pretty, like, I think for, like, old-time movie stars, especially big stuff, that was, like, and I know we were talking, it was the norm, and it's very different in a lot of ways, but I do think it is comparable in some. I mentioned this in the Discord, and Dylan was like, I don't know if that's super comparable, but it was Terminator 3 with Arnold. Like, to get him back on that, they gave him, like, an insane amount of money. He had his private gym. He had, like, like, all that type of stuff. And then I think he even ended up using some of the money they gave him. He gave it back to the movie because, like, they wanted to do a stunt that they couldn't afford. And he's like, take it out of my check. So...
Just fucking do it.
Just do it. And
we're going to do it right.
I do think he is like a movie star to that degree that like doesn't necessarily exist nowadays. I don't think it's quite like it was back in the day where you had like your Clint Eastwood or your, God, I'm blanking on others.
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, even in that time, like, and I'm even thinking even further back, like when movies, like serious movie stars, like 80s, 90s, Arnold, even, like he was fucking huge. I do think RDJ for them at this point, they see it as very much worth it, and I don't begrudge him for getting his bag at that point. And he seems like a nice enough guy to whenever people.
I don't really have a problem with RDJ as a person. Sure.
He's a hack.
Not at all.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I mean, yeah. I do feel bad for Majors. I'm not going to like pretend I like his domestic abuse shitty, sure, but I'm not going to pretend like I understand his whole situation and like I'm not. Like, I don't really feel I don't feel the need to cancel Jonathan Majors personally. I'm not about that lifestyle. I don't like when people do that. He can make wrong decisions and face the consequences himself. I don't need to be the judge, jury, and executioner on that.
That's fair.
That video came out of some TMZ person, I guess, catching him coming out of somewhere. And he seems pretty down about it, which he should.
Understandably so.
And it does kind of suck. Like, I watched that and I was like, fuck.
And it does suck. Another part of it that
does
suck.
Would love to see Kang go to the the goalpost here, and
I do think he was truly fantastic in that role. Like he was awesome.
Some executive like eyed him up and they said, "Hey, Jonathan Majors is someone we should make the multiverse saga revolve around.
We can lynch him,
and that is also another thing to consider.
He can be the linchpin of our universe. Jesus Christ.
Doom is the linchpin of the multiverse saga. So that's why, going back to my thing, I don't think this RDJ Doctor Doom is going to be hanging around for a while, because after Secret Wars, the multiverse saga will be over.
Right.
So I don't see him being a long-term Doctor Doom villain for the Fantastic Four.
But I think we're kind of past the point of the long-term villains of like a Thanos, like in the way of like...
You think?
We're kind of getting to them... Well, I mean, we saw what happened with Kang. They just didn't get to it quick enough.
I don't even mean that. I just mean like when Fantastic Four 2 comes out and they fight Doctor Doom, he just doesn't die, but he just, I don't know, he gets put in jail or something happens and he's just put off to the side, and then we'll bring him back for something. An Avengers movie where they just fight Doctor Doom. A more grounded Avengers movie seems really appealing. A movie like X-Men versus Avengers is, I think, much more appealing to me right now than Secret Wars. Because I think and I think most people, I'll speak for you folks watching at home, and let us know in the comments.
Please.
Or on our Discord, please join. We talk about Marvel all the time, and we get pretty heated. So the guns only come out once in a while. No.
Was it?
I totally forgot. No, what was I just talking about?
Talking about getting rid of Doom after like 2 movies. You don't see him, like, you need him lasting longer, and like you think you see them throwing him away after 2.
I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I'm tired of the multiverse saga. That's what I'm tired of multiverse stuff. It's so exhausting at this point. Deadpool and Wolverine is a bit different because the appeal isn't really the multiverse saga.
It's more just Fox properties and the Fox properties. Yeah,
like there's a lot of member berries in that movie, but again, we talked about that on that review.
But then there's like impenetrable references too. Yeah,
there's a lot of restraint there. But like Marvel has also not shown restraint in other facets. Like where. No Way Home, I think, is an example of Marvel having absolutely no restraints with Spider-Man and just doing everything we can.
People love to hate the good stuff. That's all I'm going to say about that.
And I meant to mention it during our Deadpool and Wolverine movie, but I would love to watch No Way Home again. I've only seen it once and be like, was this movie clouded and rated based on the member berries or what it actually is?
Sure. No, that's fair.
I would love to rewatch it, not in a screaming theater with people, and like really take it in again.
No, that makes sense.
Like,
I think that's
let's evaluate this movie a bit differently now.
Sure.
Because I think.
There's a lot that you could pick at that movie for, just like Deadpool, in my opinion, story wise, for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely think that they probably linger on some more kind of fan servicey moments within No Way Home. And who knows? Maybe I'll go back and rewatch No Way Home and completely agree with Gooch.
Have you only seen it once?
I've only seen it once, and listen, I'll say that that could absolutely happen. But I think you're right. There's a fine line that you need to walk, and like we said before with Deadpool, they walk that line pretty magnificently. But now with like Secret Wars and stuff, you do start to saturate the market, and it's just funny how quickly that happened. The multiverse stuff, how it's just like got super
it did really happen.
It just coalesced out of nowhere,
and it's so funny how like
because Flashpoint was supposed to do that first, like for years, but then Flash, but they couldn't get a director in, and then
push your mic towards me.
Yeah, it's insanity. But I don't know. Overall, I want to have faith at least a little bit in Robert Downey Jr. that he's doing this because he does think he can bring something new and interesting to the role. That's what I'm hanging my hat on.
I know he didn't know about anything. None of us knew anything about Iron Man when Iron Man came out. But, like why he thinks he can be a good Doctor Doom. I'm curious, like, I have a feeling like somebody in his circle like came to him and be like, hey, like, this is what fans are saying. Maybe we should capitalize on it.
I don't think that's it. I think, if it is that brazen.
But the rumors ended up being true. So, like, where did they come from?
It's been them talking about it. They've been having these conversations for apparently this whole year.
Yeah.
So, like, those are just rumors, like, that are bubbling, like, it's a lot of that stuff comes from rumors happening that people then start talking about.
No, we can't. Just do Kang, cast Coleman Domingo, we'll be fine.
Because like I don't remember hearing anything about RDJ coming back for Doom specifically until like a month ago, like almost like 2 weeks before whatever. I heard about him coming back possibly in some fashion, like they've been talking and stuff like that. But as far as like the Doom specific part of it going, I hadn't heard that until like 2 weeks out.
So here's a question I haven't actually ever brought up.
Sure.
Ironheart, I don't think they showed anything, but they talked
did.
About
they showed
it.
a trailer.
They talked about it at D23.
Yeah.
To it.
Sorry, a trailer leaked as well. Like you can see it.
To some extent. Mm. Do you think we see RDJ in that as a hologram Tony Stark? Are we going to bring it all? Are we going to do that too?
I don't think we need to do that, but I would like to see her have more reverence for Tony Stark and like mention Tony Stark a little bit, maybe.
I don't think we're going to. Why would we?
Because that isn't in the comics. She's in Spot,
but not in this.
Which is so stupid to me because it's like, what the fuck are we even doing with this character? That's the whole point. Like, I think that's the one like more acceptable kind of show you can bring him back in. That was what I was nervous.
I'm like, it's way too soon to be doing this.
Yeah, and I don't know, like.
Again, like, like
that wouldn't have rubbed me the wrong way personally because I think that works with that character. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, this does seem much more out of left field, and I don't know. It's tough for me to think of Robert Downey Jr. as Doom, but I think he is looking at that as the challenge. Like, he needs to play him so differently from...
Different mask, same task, Trio.
But
what was the task? Being a good actor?
Maybe, I don't know. Again, and I do think that's like an off-the-cuff, like, he does his thing.
Flask. It doesn't... Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That's really, like I said, where my mind's at. I truly just hope he thinks he can meld this into such a different character that we almost don't even think of him as Iron Man anymore. And that'll be a hard task to complete.
There's no fucking way.
I don't think there's no fucking way. I think it's a monumental Everest style
no
task.
No matter what Henry Cavill does, he'll always be Superman.
Right, but like he can still act so. I think an example of this, even a really worse example of this, is Daniel Radcliffe with Harry Potter. I think he's kind of gotten away from it now, but initially he was always just Harry Potter, and I think that just comes from playing that character for so many years.
Yeah, I mean, I can take these actors seriously in different roles, but like Daniel Radcliffe will always be Harry Potter.
Of course, but I think they can do such a good job that they start to make you forget about that while you're watching them. And I think that is possible.
I mean, when I watch Oppenheimer, I didn't go Tony Stark, you know.
That's what I'm saying. So,
but I'm also an adult, you know, who can do that.
Of course,
I'm
yeah,
not, like, you know, I think that might be a very like younger person thing. Not to dismiss your comment, but like
I agree with that 100%. But again, sure. But I think in general, though, I think we're talking more because the kids are going to see it anyways. That doesn't matter.
Sure,
we're talking about like our generation now, to where like. You know, these are mainly kid-oriented movies, but they are definitely 4-quadrant movies in the respect of like who goes to see them. You need to get people like the normies that are our age back in. And something like Robert Downey Jr. kicking ass, and if he can go in there and really make them feel like he is Dr. Doom and not Tony Stark, I think that's a big accomplishment. But like I said, that's going to be a tough battle to fight, and I don't know if we'll win it. We'll see.
Yeah, like what if it is bad?
Then... I mean,
do you think serious question?
I don't think it's so bad that it tanks
if Doomsday tanks, is MCU done after Secret Wars?
I will just answer that by saying I truly believe that's impossible. That it will tank. Like tank would be it. Like they make $200 million on it.
Yeah, true.
That's not going to happen.
See it.
Yeah. So like there's no world in my mind.
Okay, say it makes the money, but it performs poorly. Like Age of Ultron, but the stakes are 10 times higher. Because they are high.
But for sure.
I think every MCU movie that comes out right now needs to be a banger, a certifiable one.
Sure.
You know, they need to recoup this lost money from all these shows that were extremely middling,
but they didn't lose any money on those. They got money off of Disney Plus for those. They made money fine on those. It's subscriptions. Like no one's buying those specifically. But I don't know, how are their subscriptions doing on Disney Plus? I think fine, because every family in America has it for their child to watch kids shows on it. So I don't think that's losing them any more money personally. Critically, though,
it's losing.
You're correct.
Well, obviously, yeah. I guess more so, it's everyone's lost faith,
right,
including us.
Sure.
To very different degrees,
Absolutely.
But. Yeah, like, you know, before the Marvels, the last Marvel thing we did was Echo, and like, you know, I think we like that to a degree, but like overall, it's just like, you know, we're not going to remember Echo in a year. Nobody's talking about Echo now, you know, and that's not getting a second season, and you know, we're going to get less Disney Plus things, and I'm happy.
They've slowed down the shows monumentally. We barely hear about them at all.
What is is Ironheart?
It's Agatha, and then Ironheart, and that's
it. Agatha.
Yeah.
Oh God, not looking forward to that at all.
I agree.
Like that's the thing, man. We go off a $1 billion movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, killing it at the box office. Great movie, fun for all fucking ages. You know, not really. But
don't go if you're below 18.
But like, and then we're back to Agatha Harkness and the Coven of Chaos, or whatever the fuck it's called. Like. You cannot make this up. It's ridiculous.
Sure.
Like, there's no way we come out when we review Agatha and be like, wow, that was really good. Because you know what, man? I don't give a fuck about Agatha Harkness.
See, I disagree. Like, I think I say this all the time, and you have to put effort into it. Anything could be good. I mean, I enjoyed Echo. I did. I thought it was actually very good for being this kind of like random character show that was much more drama filled.
Sure.
But like I don't think I don't think everything needs to be remembered in a year.
It's
but
not like
yeah.
we review every Marvel movie on the same scale. You don't review every movie on the same scale, for fuck's sake. You go into every project with a unique everything we review. I go in with like nothing else matters besides this. I mean, obviously we can compare it to things. And we can do that.
I mean, we have our preliminary thoughts for sure.
A 5 for like La La Land is a much difference for a 5 for like Endgame. They're not the same.
Sure. I get what you're saying for sure.
But basically I'm saying that because do I evaluate Deadpool and Wolverine and Agatha Harkness on the same level? Absolutely not.
What as I'm confused. Like why? Like what do you mean? Like whether they're good or bad, or whether you enjoy them or not?
No, whether I'm like watching them and like.
I'm just a little confused.
What don't you get?
I'm like, so you're saying you're a 5 for Endgame is not equal to 5 for something else is what you're for they're but that's the whole point of a scale though.
Yeah, but like the scales even aren't the same. Every movie is a different scale. A 5-star for La La Land is not the same as a 5-star for Endgame. They're two different movies. You're evaluating them for different reasons. You're not looking for the same things.
I see what you're saying.
I just took like two stark different movies.
I see what you're saying.
I
but
like La La Land. So.
I think that then renders rating systems useless.
I mean, they pretty much are.
Well, no, I know to a degree,
and that's why we don't give
but like
stars.
I think based off
talk about it.
Exactly, and I think the Luke Kenny's system is my favorite still by far.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I think I do technically grade them on all the same scale in the way of like, did I enjoy that? So are the reasons that I enjoy them different?
We really got to remember to do this every movie. Deadpool Wolverine. I don't think it's a film. I think it's a high tier movie.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why I like that scale more.
Right,
because it's much
based
more
around conversation.
Exactly,
not
around a number.
Star, right,
and I mean, it kind of, if you really want to break it down, I guess it's kind of like a star system, but it's different in the way of like you can have a high tier flick, which is like a fantastically fun film that isn't super, in my mind, this is how that you don't take super seriously, but you still had a grand time with, and they did a great job
like
with.
Encino Man or something, right?
Whereas like
I think we're all flicks and movies.
Yes,
for that
absolutely. And whereas like films, you feel like an Oppenheimer or like something a bit more. I would put Endgame as a film in that category for me easily, like that type of stuff,
and like. Killers of the Flower Moon. Hard to base that movie other than being a film because it is such a highbrow, Oscar-nominated, star-studded cast director movie. It's different for everything. So like that being said, again, it's weird to go from Deadpool and Wolverine, a really good movie, to Agatha, the Coven of Chaos. Like, and again, like, and that's why do I care
the thing that really bugs
this?
me. The thing that bugs me about that more than anything else is that was clearly like this is a character that's popular, so let's make a TV show for her. Like, hey, can I have a Nova show maybe before Agatha all along? I don't know.
Is that what it's called?
I don't remember. They did like 18 different names.
Yeah, which again, stupid.
I think it makes sense for that type of marketing, but it gets confusing.
The marketing was dumb. No, the fact that I can't tell you the name of the show proves the marketing was bad.
But it's about Agatha, so I guess like we know it's happening, and to go to Disney Plus, So, but I won't disagree. But I digress. I just think that when it comes to grading these things, it is obviously so opinion based, and we've gotten down to this point where I think overall, especially for the normie opinion of the MCU, they've lost it. And you can't lose the normies when you're trying to make billion-dollar movies. You need them to be in. And for better or for worse, the RDJ thing will get the normies back.
So let's end it by answering the question to our podcast. Does RDJ spell doom for the MCU?
Does RDJ's casting spell doom for the MCU?
Sorry,
no, it's okay. I appreciate it.
We workshopped this right before we started.
We did. I know, yeah. And it was a bit of a wordful.
And the answer? No.
No, yeah.
It doesn't spell doom for the MCU.
No, it doesn't.
But is there reason to be skeptical? Absolutely.
110%.
Nothing is a shoo-in. I'm skeptical about fucking Harrison Ford being Thaddeus Ross. I feel like, can
I say this though too? Also, I think you do have some
I fucking hate Harrison Ford.
That's what I was, and even like Agatha. Do you think at all coming into Agatha, you obviously are not excited about it. You don't care about it. Going in and watching it, do you think that will affect you? Do you feel like that affects your opinion on things?
Of course.
Okay, fair enough. Because I do for sure.
I think that's what Acolyte.
We bring our own preconceived notions, obviously, to these things.
Yeah, I mean,
what the fuck was that? Sorry, I got like a ring. I think that's fair. I just wanted to talk about that because I think that's something we all in general, just out there in general, people need to realize too.
So your answer is no to that question?
No, absolutely not. This is again, I bookmarked this video. You can come back and rub it in my face if you're wrong. Doomsday is $1 billion film. Just because of this casting. And I think Fantastic Four is going to do great too because of another person in that. Pedro Pascal. And I think that's another main reason they got him too. We've talked about this before. I think Pedro Pascal is a fantastic actor. I think he's amazing in everything I see him in. The only reason I don't love him for the casting, he's in everything. Yes, I feel like he's just in so much.
Everything. He's been in Marvel and in DC. Successful in one, not the other.
I
I guess about to be successful in one, maybe.
Well, true. Know. I mean, he did Wonder Woman twice, which is so funny to me. But he was in the. So they did a pilot in the 2010, and he plays like a character in the Wonder Woman pilot. You can watch like the whole first episode out there. It's wild. He looks so different. He aged gracefully.
He aged well.
I will though. Just a quick note. I did see the leaked, the Fantastic Four trailer, and those vibes, man, are immaculate. He's. I
think I watched.
He's playing up like the '60s kind of like cadence and like the voice. It's good. I think it's not overbearing. I'm excited to see what they do there. Another quick sidebar. What did you think of Johnny's suit? I fucking love it.
I don't like the way he looks. I think Joseph Quinn is a weird looking guy.
He is an odd looking dude a little bit.
Yeah, like he just looks like
he's a little lanky. It was also a weird shot, like when they were kind of like maybe have him
like
pose.
Somebody spit on a blonde wig and put it on his head.
Oh, it's not a wig though. It's his hair.
No,
he dyed his hair.
It looks horrible.
I just think it's just cut like to like an old style. I don't know. That's definitely real though. If it's wrong, then I'm wrong. I don't know. But that looks real as hell to me. I love the suit. I gotta say, like, I can't wait to see them all.
I don't know.
I love like the corduroy, like going up the side. It's so cool. It's great. It literally looks like Spot out of like the '60s cartoons almost and stuff.
Yeah, like that. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not being negative about Fantastic Four.
Of course,
I'm just kind of like, okay, we'll see.
We'll see.
You know, it'll prove itself.
Absolutely.
I don't need to be in love with the aesthetic necessarily to enjoy it.
You know me. I like a good period piece. I don't know what it is. Like I fight for the Bond, and this. I hope the Bond game is in like the '60s or like like where you can use all that antiquated technology and you have like your lasers and like all the like. Yeah, I think that would be so great.
Don't do that, IRI.
Tell us about that game, by the way. God damn it. All right. Well, but anyways, Gooch. Anything else on this doomish topic?
Let's just hope it's good.
I agree. You know? I agree.
All things said and done, like no matter what happens, let's just hope we all enjoy it.
I agree, Gooch. Cross my fingers for it. Same here. I like I said before, I don't want to repeat myself again. I just hope Robert Downey Jr. at least really seems to be attempting to make this his own. And I do want it to be Victor Von Doom. Do it. Because you can't just have him. You can't have like a Doom variant die. And then the real one, just be like, oh, I'm here. I'm more Doom.
Oh, it's me, Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, it's more,
I've arrived.
You know, what's going on?
But folks, please let us know in the comments. Let us know in Discord. Let us know on our socials.
Yeah, what are you thinking? We'd love to hear it.
Does RDJ's casting spell Doom for the MCU? Trio, play us out.
To play us out, what is it? No, okay. Thank you all so much for watching with us live on twitch.tv/Delco Nerd Network. We really appreciate your time. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Nerd Network on your application of choice. We have a Discord page, a Discord channel, a Facebook page. All that good stuff will be linked down below. We're on all the social medias as well. At Delco Nerds on anything with an @ sign. You can find all this information on our website, delconerdnetwork.com. You can even email us your comments, questions, or concerns to delconerds@gmail.com. We're happy to get back to you. But for Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy, and we will see you next time.